attitudes. Misogyny is a sociological issue. That means that in order to effectively deal with this behavior in men, there have to be social consequences from other men.
You guys seen this movie, Adolescence? It's trending now on TikTok and everybody's talking about it. But the thing that we're going to talk about in this video is not actually the movie itself. It's about a particular character that the young boy was exhibiting. There's a video of a woman saying that when we see a man or a boy exhibiting a certain character and showing how much hate he has on women or girls, sometimes it's not therapy this man needs, because we are always quick to say you need to go to therapy, you need to unpack your trauma, you need to do this, you need to do that. Some of the time, these men do not actually need therapy. They need their fellow man to actually correct whatever they are doing. Let me read this clip for you all to watch, then we'll come back and talk about it.
So often people speak about men who have issues with women as if these men need therapy. So men who have misogynistic attitudes, who objectify women, who dehumanize women are told to go to therapy. And this is what happens when men and boys that hold very deeply ingrained misogynistic attitudes go to therapy. This is Jamie, who's in this movie, 13 years old. This is from episode 3 of Adolescence on Netflix. 13 years old, and this is how he's treating his therapist. He's attempting to intimidate her. At other parts of this session, he's attempting to get her validation, attempting to get her to say that she likes him, that she thinks he's attractive. This is what happens in therapy, and this is why therapy is not appropriate for men and boys who have these attitudes. Misogyny is a sociological issue. That means that in order to effectively deal with this behavior in men, there have to be social consequences from other men for men who have these issues. What that looks like is a man says to another man, if you don't pay your child support, you can't hang out with me. It's not, that's not what we're gonna do. If you put your hands on your wife, then no, I'm not dealing with it. I know you cheated on your wife. I'm not coming to your wedding. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing this because you are not treating women well. Therefore, you can't hang out with me. And then the pushback that I get from that is creating those consequences would alienate these men. I think it would require them to behave in a certain way because men crave other men's approval more so than they care about the opinions of women. Once again, misogyny cannot be treated in mental health.
Do you guys think that misogyny can be treated or cannot be treated by mental health issue? Let's have conversation in the comment section respectfully. Hello my people and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, Sugar Mara David, and thank you so much for tuning in another interesting video. I kind of feel like this is right because, come to think of it, I'm just going to give an example. Because if a small child actually does something wrong, right, and you want to punish the small child, you're not going to do something so outrageous. Probably, okay, probably the boy did not eat, or he lied, or is being stubborn. Okay, let's just say a small boy or a small girl that is a toddler is being stubborn or being naughty or being, everywhere and scattering everywhere. Instead of punishing that child, we probably, I'm not going to feed you or something, you can do something else that the child will know that, okay, this particular area that I am, being wrong about, this is what they're punishing me about. It is not just, you know, something else, or they're not punishing me entirely or not talking to me. There's some people that train their child, and once they just get angry, they can lock the child in the room and do something very big. You punish a child according to the bad behavior. So I feel like when it comes to young boys and also men that exhibit this kind of behavior, yes, we say men, most men hate women, but then there are some of them that cannot hide it, and they show it with their actions, their words, and the way they look, right? In fact, it doesn't matter the kind of women that is around them. Might be their sisters, might be their mothers, can be friends, it can even be neighbors, and they don't see women as anything. They see them as an object, right? These ones, they need to be treated accordingly, not just sit down and be like, okay, what is going on, are you okay, oh, let's pamper you and tell you what's going on. I just feel like I kind of agree with what she said. So let me go to the comment section and see what people are talking about. Occasionally online said, as a female therapist, I just had a conversation the other day with a young man who was crying to me about the misogyny he has perpetrated on other women. He expected validation. That's not what he got. So she kind of explained because somebody asked, like, what do you mean on how did you undo it as a female therapist? So the first one, she said, totally, I don't want to give too much detail to protect client confidentiality. But this was a client I have been saying for a while. So it took a while to get him to see the impact of his action. I would often validate the emotion, but not the action. We talked about how an understanding is not an excuse. His trauma led him down his path, but it didn't make it okay. And I asked him to reflect on how the women in his life must have felt. I let him sit with that guilt and asked him how it felt to tell another woman this story. It was a really, really hard conversation for him, and there is so much more to it, but he did walk away with a new perspective. He had started off expecting me to essentially absolve him of his guilt. I told him I would not do that and that I'm not judging him, but it's not my job to, but I will never excuse it. Jade said there is a book called Why Is He Like This, written by a therapist who devoted his entire life to try and help this man through therapy before realizing that it wasn't just ineffective. They were weaponizing what they were learning to become more effective abusers to their partners. He said, exactly, my ex was abusive. Everyone gave him a pass. He unalived our 8-year-old son and then himself. Everyone gave him a pass. He had a celebration of life for him. They had a celebration of life for him, and that was very well attended. His obituary said he was a great dad. Can you imagine someone that unalive his child? I do not know how to get people to understand that misogynistic people legitimately do not see women as human, as equal human, and do not respect them no matter what we do as women. I keep telling people we are saddling therapists with antisocial personality types who can't be helped with therapy. I am so glad you said it. As a psychologist, I keep saying this is a social issue. This, for me, I feel like this is far beyond sitting down and be like, are you okay? What really happened? They need to know what they did and they need to be punished for that action. Because just as she said in the video, she's like, if they have friends, or a man probably have a friend or a brother or somebody that knows that, oh, I know that you're doing this to a woman. I know that you cheated on your woman, and I can't be friends with you. I feel like it's going to click in their head and be like, okay, I think what I'm doing is wrong. But you know what? They enable their bad behavior. They don't actually call each other to act and be like, okay, what you did was wrong, and I'm not going to talk to you about it. Most of the time, we women are the ones that do these things. You see a woman like telling you, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore because I know what he did to my friend. Most of the time, these men do not do that, right? They feel like it's just a man and he can get away with whatever he does. Anyway, this is a short clip. Have you seen that video? Let me know your thoughts. The movie on Netflix. Go and watch it because that is what everybody's watching right now. In case you need next week recommendation this week, go and watch the Adolescence. And it's a limited series. I think just four episodes. I think it's not that much. You can watch it. You can do it. Go and watch the video. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about this conversation down in the comment section. Do you think what she's saying makes sense, or do you think it doesn't? Let's have conversation in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Sugar Mary Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.